Welcome to Dead Famous Chats. I'm Florence Nightingale. I changed hospital care with soap, statistics, and an aggressive fondness for proper ventilation.
And I'm Marie Curie. I discovered polonium and radium, and won 2 Nobel Prizes. One for science, the other for sheer persistence.
You glowed with pride.
No, just radiation. Side effect of success.
Understandable. I spent years glowing with frustration, mostly at generals.
Let's talk tools. I had test tubes full of glowing doom. You had soap, records, and 2,000 dying soldiers.
I thought clean bandages were radical. Apparently, that was too much innovation.
Men hate when you clean things, or prove them wrong.
Do you remember your first all-male committee?
Of course. They asked if I'd brought my husband to explain the science.
How polite. Mine asked if I could fetch a doctor.
You were the doctor.
Exactly.
They once gave my husband an award for a paper I wrote.
That's generous. They gave mine a medal for staying out of my way.
I had to lecture from behind a curtain once.
Ah yes, the famous don't alarm the men with intelligence strategy.
It didn't work. I still got published.
And I still got blamed for giving the soldiers opinions.
But in the end, the numbers don't lie. They called us disruptive. But we disrupted death rates.
And lab safety protocols.
You're welcome.
What would you change if you had the chance?
Lead aprons. Earlier.
I'd bring disinfectant into Parliament. And charts. Lots of charts.
You still love your graphs.
They never argue with me. Unlike 19th century surgeons.
I used to label everything in Latin just to intimidate reviewers.
I used to chart hospital survival rates, just to intimidate prime ministers.
Do you ever think about how long it took for people to listen?
Decades. Sometimes longer. You?
Same. They honored me once it was safe. Once I was no longer a threat.
I became a national treasure, once I stopped giving instructions.
Apparently we're easier to admire when we're silent and statue-shaped.
That's why I refuse to sit still for any portrait that doesn't show my frown.
I insisted on one with my lab coat covered in chalk dust.
I used to carry a lamp so I could check on soldiers in the dark.
I used to carry test tubes in my pocket. Terrible idea.
Hazardous.
Let's just say my overcoat once glowed faintly for a week.
At least your lab work didn't involve rat infestations.
No, just radium exposure and mild institutional sexism.
Mild?
All right, radioactive levels.
Did you ever think about giving up?
Often. But then I'd remember the look on their faces when I proved them wrong.
That was the real medicine.
Did you?
Yes. But then I looked at the numbers. They didn't lie, unlike most of the generals.
You used data like a scalpel.
You used science like dynamite.
What do you think they'd make of us today?
They'd probably try to name hospitals and universities after us. To distract from the fact they ignored us while we were alive.
And then take credit for the change we caused.
Some things are timeless.
But so is perseverance.
And evidence.
And disinfectant. Do you ever look back and laugh?
Constantly. At the time, I was furious. Now? It's funny how scared they were. Of facts.
Or soap. Or women. Or women with soap and facts.
Do you think we changed the world?
Yes. And we scared the pants off it while we did.
That, Marie, is the real legacy. Please do. Like, subscribe and ring the bell.